When it comes to regulatory compliance standards, there are many. We are not going to deep dive you in those regulatory standards. We will only touch upon at very high level. As a cybersecurity architect, you do not need to know them upfront. You can learn them as you get exposed to that kind of environments or industries. You just need to know which standards are relevant in the given industry. Let's explore some important regulatory compliance standards. GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation. Think of GDPR as the European Union's way of making sure your personal information is handled with care. It requires companies to get clear permission before using your data and to keep it safe. If company mess up and your data gets leaked, they must tell you within 72 hours as per GDPR standards. HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. HIPAA is like a security guard for your health information in the United States. It makes sure doctors, hospitals, and other healthcare providers keep your medical records private and secure. They have to follow strict rules about who can see your information and how it is protected. PCI DSS stands for Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. PCI DSS is all about keeping your credit card info safe. It sets the rule for how businesses should store, process, and transmit your credit card details. This includes using encryption, limiting access to data, and constantly monitoring for security issues to prevent fraud and breaches. Sarbanes-Oxley Act, known as SOX. SOX is a US law that makes sure companies are honest about their finances. It requires public companies to have strong internal controls and accurate financial reporting. This way, executives can't hide financial problems or commit fraud without getting caught. FedRAMP stands for Federal Risk Authorization Management Program. FedRAMP is a US government program that ensures cloud services used by federal agencies are secure. It's like a security checkpoint for cloud providers, making sure they meet strict standards before agencies can use their services and help keep government data safe. ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization, and IEC stands for International Electrotechnical Commission. ISO 27001 is an international guideline for managing and protecting company information. It will help businesses set up a system to keep sensitive data secure, focus on identifying risk, and putting controls in place to prevent breaches and data loss. As I mentioned earlier, you do not need to know all of them upfront, but eventually learn the aspect that at least must be seen when systems are implemented in the specific industry or location. To help customers meet their own compliance obligations across regulated industries and markets worldwide, Microsoft Azure maintains the largest compliance portfolio in the industry in both breadth, means total number of offerings, and depth, means number of customer-facing services in assessment scope. Azure compliance offerings are grouped into 4 segments. They are global, US government, industry, and regional. Azure compliance offerings are based on various types of assurances, including formal certifications, attestations, validations, authorizations, and assessments produced by independent third-party auditing firms, as well as contractual amendments, self-assessment, and customer guidance documents produced by Microsoft. Each offering description provides an up-to-date scope statement indicating which Azure customer-facing services are in scope for the assessment, along with links to downloadable resources to assist customers with their own compliance obligations. The Microsoft Trust Center provides more detailed information about Azure compliance offerings. Additionally, all downloadable documentation is available to certain Azure customers from the Microsoft Service Trust portal in the sections such as audit reports and data protection resources. Audit reports include sections for FedRAMP, GRC assessment, ISO, PCI DSS, and SOC reports. Data protection resources includes compliance guide, frequently asked questions, and white papers, and pen test and security assessment sections. Let's get on the Service Trust portal and see some of the documentation in action. This is the service trust portal that I was referring to. You can see that the number of certification, regulation, and standards that are published here, which is basically adopted by the Microsoft platform. You can take a look, click on each one of them based on your need, and you can get to the details that how the Microsoft platform is basically supporting this certification or regulation standards, right? Then there are some white papers, artifacts, as mentioned, like a pen test results, FAQs, regional resources, right? Industry specific resources that can be seen here. Let's take an example, particularly for the Australian IRAP, because I'm in this region. I just want to see what kind of reports are basically seen here. Let's go ahead. In Australia, federal and defense industry need to assess the system against Australian IRAP controls, right? Which is basically the ISM, control to some extent. That is what it is referred within this region. And systems are basically assessed for a different types of data classification, such as official, protected, secret, and top secret, right? Now, most of the services that I can see is basically credited at the protected level. That is what it says. And you can basically pull out all that required documentation from this particular website to support your IRAP process. That is very useful, because you don't have access to the physical, the asset managed by the Microsoft, and Microsoft provide that particular assurance in the form of these reports, right? You can again take a look, which is regional resources. Let's see again what is there in the regional resources. And you can see that, like for different geography, this Microsoft platform basically follows the respective standards, which is needed within that particular region if you are hosting any kind of workload, right? So you can pull out that kind of information out of this particular platform and ensure that whatever the application that you basically hosting is in line with whatever the regulatory compliance requirement or accreditation is needed for a specific platform actually. That is what I just wanted to see. All those things are available on the Service Trust portal. You just need to go ahead and log in using your official account, and you would be in a position to download all those required materials to support your accreditation process. That's all pretty much here.